Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and today we're hanging out in our butterfly house. I would think it's safe to say that we have raised a ton of monarch butterflies that we have released out into the wild throughout this summer. We started off with just 100 caterpillars, and with those 100 caterpillars, we have raised, I think we're on generation 4 right now of butterflies, and this is a generation that's ready to head south. So what we're doing in here right now is we are capturing those that we're able, and we're going to do a release here in just a minute, so stay tuned for the butterfly release. We also are opening our doors into the butterfly house to let anybody who is still in here fly outside and make their way south if that is what they're going to do. So in the butterfly house this year, it's gotten a little bit overgrown. There's been a lot of heat, a lot of humidity, and being in this environment, it's like the perfect growing condition for these plants. So when we created the butterfly house, we had to keep in mind what plants are needed for the butterflies we are going to raise. So we have primarily just raised the monarchs in this butterfly house. So it was very important that we have a ton of milkweed. If any of you have raised the monarchs before, you know just how hungry they are. You know the book, The Hungry Caterpillar, that is no joke. They will eat through milkweed within a weekend once they get to a mature size. So here at Garden Crossings, we grow and sell milkweed. But in addition to that, we have a huge stock house of milkweed that we can bring in here to make sure that we're keeping our caterpillars fed. So it's been really nice this year. In the past years, the butterflies would cycle. They would be caterpillars, and they would be butterflies, and then there'd be nothing. So this year, we've had a lot of overlap. So there's always been a lot of butterfly activity going on. Right here, I'm looking at this milkweed. This is the Asclepias Cinderella, which produces a lot of food here for us in the butterfly house. And just looking at this plant, you can see how the butterflies are enjoying it. But you can also see, too, the caterpillars. So milkweed is a host plant for the monarch caterpillars. Not only is this the food that those caterpillars eat, it is also the plant where they are laying their eggs. Here's an egg here right on the edge of the leaf. Here's another one. You look for little white oblong looking things on usually the underside of the leaves, but not always. And that is what a monarch egg looks like. In the monarch house, we also want to point out male and female butterflies. Obviously, you need the males and the females to populate. And in the butterfly house today, there's a lot of mating that's going on. So as we open the doors and release the butterflies, a lot of times they're heading out 2 by 2. So how do you know if it is a male or a female? We're going to actually show you that when we go and do the release here in just a few minutes. It'll be easier to show you on the butterfly what to look for to know if you have a male or female. So in addition to the milkweed in this butterfly house, we need to have those pollinator plants as well. And what we have found to be a good source are zinnias, allium, obviously butterfly bush. This here is a pugster butterfly bush on steroids. And the only reason it's this big is because it is grown here in this greenhouse environment. Pugster usually is only about a 2 to 2.5 foot variety, but because it's living its best life, it's getting watered and fertilized every day, and is in this big, hot, humid greenhouse, it is just growing profusely and huge. So we often find the butterflies hanging out on butterfly bush for their nectar source. We also use a lot of lantana because a lantana is also an annual that is a favorite of the butterflies. So we do have a lot of lantana poked in. And then petunias and angelonia, some verbena, just a lot of assortment of both annuals and perennials, as well as some of those bigger shrubs that add some of the bigger specimens here in the butterfly house. So they're happy, but we are happy to let them go as soon as we start getting numbers in such sizes that we're like, you know, we've got enough, they're populating, we want to let them go. So that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to let these butterflies go. Another interesting thing with the butterfly house is because the butterflies are finding their way out of the house, in our landscapes outside and in our garden center, there is always a flurry of activities from the monarchs. So when customers are shopping or walking through our gardens, there's always the presence of these monarch butterflies just hanging out. And it's just, there's something so so calming, so inspirational, just so pleasing about having butterflies in the area. It's a sense of peace, a sense of calm, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and let these butterflies go so they can head down south to continue on with the life cycle. So we've gone ahead and captured some of the butterflies from the butterfly house, and we're going to do a release today. I think there's just, like I said, something so magical, inspirational, just something so calming about doing a butterfly release. So we are going to just open these zippers up and let them fly away. One thing that's kind of interesting is when you give them freedom, they don't always sense it. Sometimes they just like to hang out inside this enclosure for a while. So we'll go ahead and see who wants to hang out and who wants to fly away. Sometimes we do give them a gentle nudge to encourage them that it's freedom on the other side. So since some of them are still being a little shy, I had told you we're going to show you the male and the female's difference. So we'll come up and take a quick look here. We'll look at this one here, if it doesn't fly away. This one here is a female. So if this were a male, we'll see if it'll open its wings up. Whoop, too quick for us. Let me go in and... Yeah, so that's a female. You'll notice there's not any black dots on the bottom wings. Black dots on the bottom wings usually are what signify it being a male. So you'll notice on that one there how it's got those 2 black dots on the bottom wings. That is the male monarch. And we're going to just kind of take my hand and cup it underneath their feet. There's a mating pair right now. And off they go. Just going to put my hand in there, get it under their feet, and encourage them a little bit to find their freedom. So we estimate we've probably raised well into 1,000, if not 2,000 butterflies this year. And like I mentioned, we started off with about 100. So we've definitely helped increase the monarch population. And as I said, we don't keep them in captivity for long, just long enough that they can lay eggs and get us the next cycle. And then we let them go out to enjoy our gardens. If you have any questions or comments on butterflies and raising them, things that you need, we can gladly help get you any information. If there's any other questions, feel free to just leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.